the relationships between the black and white races, the need for respectfully real dialogue. Let's start off with defining respectfully real dialogue. Respectfully real means a type of communication that builds a bridge or a connection as opposed to a wall or a barrier. So it's real, but it's respectfully real. Respectfully real means to express ourselves with kindness, wisdom, and respect of boundaries. It's based on the premise that we all have the right to be our true selves, as long as the expression of that true self is done in a respectfully real manner. Now, a dialogue of this sort was between whites and blacks, or whites discussing the issues and blacks discussing the issues, needs to be done in a respectfully real manner. Then the result will be constructive. Then the conversation will bear good fruit that will help uplift society and remove any barriers that are remaining. What I want to do is talk a little bit about the history during my own lifetime. I was born in 1941, so I want to talk about what I've personally seen. We'll also talk about the history in terms of what happened before my life, but what I've watched over my own lifetime. When I was growing up, and you saw movies of Africa, which, by the way, we're all from there. The original human is from Africa, so we all are descendants of individuals who are black, so we have that part of our genetic makeup is black. What you would typically see in a movie would be half-naked people running around throwing spears, attacking one another and attacking white people, and more than often than not cooking some white person in a big pot, cannibalistically cooking. That's what I grew up around, that kind of portrayal of black people in terms of their ancestral home. Very disrespectful portrayal. And then if it was a more current situation in America, the black person would always be shown as shuffling around or really not that responsible or in a very subservient position. And so with the portrayal of the black race in that manner in Africa, there were those white individuals who would say, look what we saved them from. We brought them here and elevated the black people and civilized them. So in terms of arrogance, conceit, the attitude was, we did the black people a favor. We uplifted them. We saved them from throwing spears and cooking people. It's hard to imagine that degree of arrogance, but it's there. So as we look deeper into the whole dynamics of what's involved in this, we're going to need to certainly remove any vestige of those concepts. The African continent is actually far more advanced than what people have acknowledged. Egypt's part of that. Nigeria is very educationally oriented. It's a very diverse continent. Now, when I was growing up, in certain areas, particularly in the South, you had a situation where it'd say no color allowed. It'd be a drinking fountain. Say no color allowed. Bathrooms segregated. Black people having to sit in the back of the bus during my lifetime. Now, during the emancipation that took place under Lincoln in the 1860s, there was a legal emancipation, and that was followed by Reconstruction, a tremendous exploitation of black people who weren't really trained or educated. In fact, the black slave was deliberately kept uneducated in this country. Now, if we compare that to, say, Bermuda, the British Empire had an emancipation before America emancipated slaves. And when they did, the black people of Bermuda had trades.